Today is September 12th, 2025. It just never stops. Ever stops. Ever stops. You know, you think after 7 years, well, you get used to a lot of it. A lot. You get used to a lot. See, where I told you in 2018, the cartel was walking around me. We're going to have her listed a liar. And that nothing she says is credible. We're going to ruin her reputation so nothing can be used in court. And she can't testify against us because nothing she says is credible. Everybody ruin it. They had a plan for a way out. Okay. All right. Okay. August 4th, 25, they admitted to using hypnotic drugs when they drugged me and told me to say it. That's why I had a metal taste in my mouth and I don't have any memory. August 5th, 25, Dutch Valley Restaurant, they were in there and they were saying as if Agent John didn't know that they used hypnotic drugs when they drugged me and told me to say it before. That's why I have no memory and I had a metal taste in my mouth. He was telling people he knew she was being drugged, being raped. Before the case started, he let them torture her. Is he some kind of coward? Okay. August 7th, 25. I am in Walmart 62. Investigators show up. Okay. We got the tape of them admitting again they drugged her and told her to say it before. And they even admitted they used hypnotic drugs. That's why she has no memory of anything from before. Told you only have 3 weird memories. Sound of footsteps. Woke up in a white man's arm with a white dress shirt, gray pinstripe, and a syringe coming at me in the room going dark. Feeling like my back's being ripped open to my chest. And I can't see, I can't breathe, and every part of my body is in agony, and all I can hear is my wail. I thought they were nightmares. I thought the well water up there was giving me cancer and killing me. I would take a shower before I went to bed. I'd wake up with giant bruises all over me. Okay? And throwing up, heart racing, almost passing out, and a severe swollen personal infection. The only thing I did is take a shower before I went to bed. I would be fine some mornings and I would get up and I'd go work outside. And I would come in, wash my hands, make something to eat and drink out of a 2-liter Diet Coke into a cup. And then go in and use the bathroom, wash my hands better, come out, take a drink in the room, and go dizzy and black and the same thing. I thought the well water was giving me cancer. I thought it was infecting my personal area. And I thought it was actually killing me, that it was that toxic. Here I'm being drugged and told to say horrible stuff as a bitch move. And being raped in my own home. Now, and then I heard they photoshopped my head on somebody else's body showering, and it is documented. It wasn't even my body. They did a body ratio of me and whoever was showering, which means they're in somebody else's home. And it's a video where they already confessed it's a video of someone washing themselves in the shower. They put my head on somebody else's body. On July 24th, 25, there was a guy on a motorcycle and had a helmet on. Now, I had a guy like that around me a lot in 18, 19, and then different times in the case. He's out there. He's like, I know she don't know who I am. That way I can keep an eye on her. He said, I did a body ratio, and it wasn't even her. And it's already documented and verified now. It wasn't even her. It's somebody else showering. Okay? Well, the next day on the 25th, I go in Bob Evans on 62. Some idiot dare says something about the drugs and told us say it. Oh, John verified it for a while. It's like, oh, hell no, he didn't. And I went off on them. And it's like John said on Thanksgiving of 18, when I asked him what was going on, then he didn't know, and that Melissa would just have the kids make up something because of the divorce. Gonna be moving out. But nobody can say anything bad about you. Don't worry about it. Should have her church people make up something too. But don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about your mom. It's just made up because of the divorce. And then it's like, you shouldn't have said anything, but I did. And since it's made up and nobody can say anything bad about you, don't worry about it. And then that bitch move that Melissa did about a year later of sneaking in his house after the divorce, hiding, waiting for him to walk out of the bathroom, lunging at him. He shoved her. Now I got you laughed, and they had him arrested, domestic violence. And then he lost his kids for a year. And then he called me and said, I need a reliable name to put on the court records. I want to try to get custody of the partial custody of the kids. And he said, Mom, I need you to help me. And I said, John, I work 2 jobs. I don't get off the first one, let alone the second one. I won't be able to afford my apartment. Mom, if you don't help me, I'll lose my kids forever. These are my kids. I said, John, I don't get off the first job, let alone the second. Okay? I said, I can't help you. I am sorry. Mom, I have to have a reliable name to put on that court record to pick up Kenzie, Carrington, and Noah. He said, from school, I'll lose my kids forever. I said, John, I'll lose my apartment. I can't hardly make it now. I'm sorry, I can't help you. And he was really upset. Now, if you're verifying a drug scam of somebody being drugged with hypnotic drugs, being raped, and the person so drugged up don't even know what happened because you're sleepwalking with hypnotic drugs. You have no memory. If they're part of it, would they want you to pick up their kids? Okay. No. So I go over to Walmart 62 right after that, July 25th, 25, early in the morning. The investigator from 18 comes in. I told that couple never to say a word to her. I interviewed John years ago. He said nothing bad ever happened to him. So did all her boys. Where right after Thanksgiving of 18, they were talking about catching Melissa, telling the kids a lie, the kids stating that they were lying, they taped them. Okay? And why are they having those kids make that shit up? Oh, they're just trying to scare her into giving up the house. That's it. We interviewed her whole family. They spoke highly of her. And Melissa's so stupid, she made everything up when you were fishing with Dave. She's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. And Melissa could go to jail for involving herself in this. I'd hate to arrest her. Her kids are little. Why don't we just write it up? She was showing off for David and his girlfriend. And then where January 12th, 22, Officer John stopped men at the door. While those kids get taped stating they made everything up. They're documented me games of pretend. Sheriffs have admitted they taped them, saying they were lying. And my whole family defended me, including the feds. March 23rd, 23. FBI agents, we told these people stay out of this. We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She's never hurt anyone. Nobody's seen anything. And it's just some lady thought she could make money off of it. Okay? I got more. A lot more. And then drugs and told to Sam, photoshopping a shower scene, being framed. See, then I want you to think about this. Where it's coming out, it's Melissa's divorce attorney. Where they said it was attorney office. It's my ex-daughter and daughter-in-law's divorce attorney and some guy named Pete. Dave hired on his own, got the cartel involved. And see, September 10th, 25, Tuscarora's courthouse, the FBI needs to pull that courthouse tapes. The judge that was over where my new husband, Carl's a sweetheart, his stepchildren robbed him blind after. Okay, he's got a farm. That was his dad. And around it, they had put oil wells. It's not on his property, other people's. But they had to run a pipe through his land. So they give him a big settlement. Okay? All right, his stepkids from his second marriage came and got couple $100,000. Bullied him out of it. Where they deny all of it. Well, we kind of found in one night over 50, 60 grand of cash checks that say different from the bank with their signatures. That's without all the cash they got from him. Okay. Well, they have where they were always bullying him out of money. He didn't want the stepchildren from the second marriage to know where he lived. His kids knew. Grandkids. But not his second wife's kids. That are nothing but liars and thieves. Okay? Well, they called up and said he didn't have their permission. Oh, the police and the feds have him saying all this. They didn't have their permission to move and all this other stuff. They had ways of taking care of me that he would never see me again. He's like, that's my wife. Oh, you only think you're married. She's evil. And crazy crap. And then scared him so bad. He said, I never want to talk to you ever again. He has a choice too. He's a grown man. He said, you don't want to see them? They're not his kids. They're Brenda's. And Mr. Blue's. Okay? Well, then that stepson of his crazy girlfriend was stalking us, found out where he lived. And then they showed, well, with that happening, we ended up going for a restraining order. And before we got to get to court, they were beating on the door. Dad only want 5 minutes alone with you. Carl shit himself, literally. And kept shitting all over the floor until he left. He was scared to death of him. That he'd get in the house and kill him. He's so scared. He shit himself. As his attorney said, that's being scared shitless to the point you can't control your own body fluids. You were scared for your life. The thought of him getting through that door. Now, if an elderly man is that afraid of someone, they should never be allowed around him. Ever again. That judge was so corrupt. Okay? We go in there, and first, that Deb, his stepdaughter, she was 26 when he married Brenda. Her first husband raised her. She just divorced that man. Brenda, his wife, divorced that man 6 months before she met Carl. So Deb's 26. She had a father her whole life in the house. She's 26. She's a grown woman, married with children. This is just her mom's second husband. Now, they lie so much. They're lies. It's almost hysterical. It's a sideshow. Like the attorney that we had representing us, she said, I've never seen a judge let a circus show and a sideshow go on in their courtroom and didn't stop it. And people purposely lying and telling another lie, and they're changing their story continuously and didn't stop it. And to the point, these people were laughing at that judge in their face. They couldn't even keep their face straight. Okay, that Deb said, Carl was the only daddy she knew. Well, see, that was one of the stories they told before, is her dad died. Right, she was born, she never knew him. So that means Veronica and Lester were immaculate conceptions. And the guy she divorced 6 months before Carl was here was a ghost. See, they lie. She was 26, grown woman, married with children. And they were bawling her eyes out. My daddy, my daddy. It's her stepfather. What she's crying is, my ATM we robbed. My ATM robbed. And they shut off my ATM card. Oh, we got, 2 or 3 checks to her husband, Tom. Close to 10 grand without the cash. I was there when she bullied, and the FBI and the police, when she bullied Carl out of 4 and screamed at him. 4,000 more. That's not all the other cash they got out of him. And that's not all the checks. That was just out of one book. Huh? And their sister Veronica probably got him for 20 grand or more out of one book. They robbed that man blind. Get the idea, and that's not even the cash. Over the summer, that Veronica got him for 2 herself. See, that's where I'm telling you, it's all the ATM shut off. Even his attorney, Kathy Stoneman in Carrollton, you tell them the ATM's turned off. And that's what they're mad about. So she put on the big stare, how she loves her daddy. She misses him so much. She didn't even live in the house when he was married to Brenda. She lived with her husband and her children, and she knew her real father and grew up with a real dad. They lied to that judge. She came out of the courtroom and looked at me and went, I hate that face. And then after all the court hearings, she walks up while my husband's sitting next to me. Now she's 300 pounds, walks like a football linebacker, has her hair cut off like a guy, and she's toothless. And she went all over. Carl just sat there like this. French kissing him. For minutes. I'm like, Carl! And he just sat there. And then she felt him all up and down on her chest. I haven't been able to kiss him. Today was about the first day I could even look at him. I said, you didn't push her off. He said, I was so stunned I couldn't move. I said, then we need to tell Adult Protective Services in that courthouse she molested you in front of everyone. She come on you with advances, and you didn't want her to touch you, and you were froze, and you're afraid of these people. That is not a father-daughter or stepdaughter kiss. You kiss them on the cheek, forehead, and maybe a peck on the lips. Nothing like that. That's like a deep lover kiss, and it was sick, and it was disgusting, and it was loud, and it was like a man attacking my husband. Lady investigators today said the investigators working the case watched Deb cry over him. We all know she had a dad. Grew up with a dad. We all know that. She was a grown woman out of the house with her own kids. Why is she crying over her mother's second husband? That she was already living out of the house and a grown woman with kids. Why is she so devastated she can't see him? And then that passionate kiss in front of everyone? And that's how they put it, passionate kiss. Oh, endless passionate kiss. It was disgusting. It was like a man all over my husband. And it said, did Carl have an affair on Brenda with her? And they're lovers. And he's afraid Karen will find out. And she'll leave him. Oh, I need to find out. Because I can barely look at him right now. He said, I washed my face. I rinsed my mouth out. Can I kiss you goodbye? Or over the last 3 days, I said, you're not kissing me? And all I can see is Deb's face all over you. I said, you're lucky I can even look at you right at this point. I almost threw up for 2 days. I ate one meal today. I tried to eat yesterday. Ended up doubled up in the bathroom. Couldn't even finish a plate. The thought of her all over him in front of people and the embarrassment and the sideshow of these people. Oh, and when we go in the courtroom, Carl had told him that he's afraid of that Lester. That 10, 15 years ago, he had told him not to swear at his mom. And he got mad, backed him in the corner, and he was beating him. He thought it was going to kill him. He's way up in his 60s, he's in his 20s. And Carl's only 5'3", and this guy's like 5'10". He's 30s or 40s then, beating up a 66-year-old man or more. And he said the only thing that saved my life is I got a hold of the middle of his throat while he was beating me, and I squeezed till he started coughing and walked off. It's the only thing that saved my life. Adrenaline kicked in and I got a hold of that sword, or I'd been dead that night. He would have beat me to death. He said it was actually that bad because I just told him not to swear. That's why he shit himself when he seen him, thinking he's mad at him. He'll kill him. He almost killed him that night for telling him. Okay? He tells the judge, yes, I beat him. Yes, the fight happened. But I was 15. So it was just a teenage scuffle. He was 20, like 25, 26, 20s. He almost beat his stepfather to death. His stepfather is now 79. Carl's like, I'm scared to death of him and I never want him around me again. Judge said he should be around him. What, to finish him off? His girlfriend Karen, sideshow, came in, told that judge that Carl bought my son Danny a truck. He never bought Danny anything. Lied. You talk about perjury all over the place. They said when Brenda died on September 11, 23, that I walked over and started sleeping with Carl that night. I didn't move in with Carl till June of 24. We were already friends, already talking for over a year. But I did not move in with Carl till June of 24. That was a flat out lie. Flat out lie. They said she's evil, she's a gold digger. They took all that money from him. I buy all this stuff for him, but I'm the gold digger. That, yes, she may have bought him clothes and shoes and got him healthy food. That's what you do for someone you love. To make him feel good about himself, well, that's what you do. You want people to feel good about themselves. To build him up so she can rob him blind. And she's got her claws in his checking account and savings account. See, they told a lie. And where Gary said it's telling a big lie and then believing the big lie. It's the big lie theory. They told a lie that Carl has millions of dollars. He has $6,000 in his savings and $1,400 in his checking. I said, Carl, a couple of zeros fell off. Okay. Carl told him that when he got the big settlements, when they took all that money, that it was a one-time thing. And then he got a few small checks afterwards. And when they did the counting, they gave him way too much money. And we finally got it down to negative $66,000. We actually owe the oil company $66,000. They called him a liar. Why would we lie? I got proof of it. See what I mean? The grandeur of everything. That land, it is worth money. But it doesn't, we have to even get an easement into it because it's landlocked. It's just like a back area of like 66 acres his dad bought in 1950. It's just crazy. And they want it like it's pure gold. His one son, Rick, threatened to kidnap him. And FBI, you do need to check out what's going on with this. And this is a scam they are pulling on people in Ohio, by the way. Of where they did it with me, where the dirty doctor, not one of yours, worse for them, they lied. They have an attorney. They're finding people incompetent or insane. Having everything switched over into the attorney's name. And the doctor's not even theirs. They don't even know who these people are. They're just scamming them, writing up fraud, throwing people in nursing homes and in mental insanity. They said they are putting it through in Youngstown. That kid, Carl's son Rick, threatened to do it to Carl, and he even told his daughter Audrey that he had it all planned, that me and Carl will disappear one day. They have it planned. They have it all set up in Youngstown, and they have somebody to push fraud papers through. It is a scam because where they threaten with me, his son Rick is threatening it with Carl and me. So it is a scam they're pulling in Ohio stealing from the elderly and other people they don't like, and then getting rid of them. And of course, they threw a fit about my car, and I already told the attorney, it's on Google where I had that Nissan. It was a lemon. She said she used to do lemon laws, and I said 440,000 got recalled after I turned mine in. The electrical was bad. The transmission, had it always up there. They kept saying they'll tell Nissan, they'll tell Nissan. I said, but the dashboard would go out while I was driving. The transmission would always stay in gear. I said it was horrible, horrible. And Carl's like, I was scared of it. And Karen took her dog bite money where I got a settlement from a dog bite, put $2,000 down on the car so we'd have a reliable car. It's nobody's business but ours because we're married. But these thieving stepchildren they want every dime. And they want my car and they want to know if it was paid off. Carl's like, she only put $2,000 on it. She's making payments. See, they just want my car. People, if you really want a Ford Bronco, really bad, Guess Motors in Carrollton is selling Broncos. There is Ford dealers in Hartville, Canton. They would love to sell you a Ford Bronco. Why would you want to make my payments? I had to pay part of the Nissan off. They had to add it in escrow or not escrow, but on top of it. I'm actually in the negative on this car. Why would you want it? I just needed something reliable that all the electrical's not going out and the transmission would stay in gear. And it smelled like it was burning one day, and then the heater seat came on for one I didn't turn it on. Okay. That's beside the point. But yeah, it was like a freaking sideshow. I mean, this is crazy. That judge, like Diana, our attorney, she said, I've never seen a judge allow people to keep changing their story and purposely lie till they're laughing. Okay? And admit to beating somebody before. The person says they're scared to death and says, oh, they can be around them. Want to kill them? And these people, I mean, where they even said, the conversation never happened. We never asked for more money for Deb. And then they're like, okay, we did. But that Karen over there swore at us. I had to put my hand on my woman's leg and tell her, easy, babe. And she comes in and she's like, we never asked money for Deb. Okay, well, actually, we did. And that Karen swore at us. And he had to hold me back so I didn't take her. Two of the investigators said our Karen would have killed her. I'm 50 pounds heavier. All I had to do was sit on that twig. It never happened. It never happened. They made the whole thing up. They did ask for money and we told them no. And they said, too bad you'll give it to her. And they were so rude. Carl, when we left, said, I don't want them to know where I live. I'm tired of them bullying me out of money. Okay? Well, that judge told Carl, you may stay married as long as you're competent and only while you're competent. Carl is 79. He told me, he said, my dad in his late 80s, got dementia. He said, Karen, what happens to me in 10 years? I don't want to die in a nursing home alone. So we got to move back to Stark County because that's not how the law works. I took and we did a statement and we let his regular attorney document it, so it will be documented in Carrollton. They told us we need to move out. Diana said, I know you just got a beautiful new place. I know you just got in Tuscarawas County, but with that judge being so evil towards you, or so horrible towards you, you need to get out of Tuscarawas County. I went to leave, and that judge was talking to somebody, had her back toward me. Now, where the drug cartel is trying to get the case thrown out against all of them, they are using Melissa's divorce attorney and that guy Pete. Okay? Where people had even said Melissa's divorce attorney wanted to make sure that Melissa got everything. So he went after John's mom. Okay. I got to thinking about that last night. I had the best giggle. She's divorcing John. You had no right coming after me. Ever. You don't have a right to come after anybody. And then you're so afraid of me. I am not like Chuck Norris. I was a 51-year-old woman. I was heavyset, long brown hair, long skirt, dressed modestly. And you were scared of me? Like I was Chuck Norris? You got to think how badass they went on me and you were that afraid of me? It's comical. You had to go that badass on me that you had to have me drugged for fake confessions, beaten right by drug dealers, and photoshopped and framed. Because you were that afraid of me? I'm not Chuck Norris. I was a little 51-year-old woman. But you were that afraid of me. My God, they thought I was badass. You know what's really something? And we're always said, I have more respect for Melissa than Melissa had for herself to involve any of this. You know, in their divorce, as many years as they were married, long as they didn't touch my kid, you touch my kid, I'm going to go mama bear on you. Long as it's just legal stuff, you've been married for so many years, the kids are involved. Do the shared parenting. They both need both parents. Make it equal and fair. You've been married a long time, start getting emotions out of it, and just finish raising your kids separately. So they both have, that's about all I would have said. See, that's where the whole thing of it is. They were married so long, broke up so many times. You want to call it quits, just be fair so the kids have both parents. Keep the emotions out of it. Been there together so long. Just be fair. But make sure that you both are in their lives. They deserve both parents. It's like grow up a little. See, that's where Melissa's divorce attorney is so afraid of me that they had to have drug dealers drug and frame John's mom. Have him beat and rape me under drugs. Had to take me out because they think I'm so badass. I'm not Chuck Norris. I was a 51-year-old heavy-set woman in a skirt with long hair and flats or tennis shoes. My God. And then have me drugged and framed and photoshopped in their stocking tapes by Melissa, divorce attorney, and some drug dealer Pete Dave hired on his own. My God, you went that Nazi on me because you were that afraid of a 51-year-old fat woman? It's not like I was Chuck Norris. Like they said, Melissa's divorce attorney did that to her, had that done to John's mom so she get everything. And when they opened the FBI case, he's been going after that FBI case. Okay, I gotta leave the courtroom of this Tuscarawas courthouse. You need to get the tapes. That judge said they've been down here saying everything she said is a lie, and she's the biggest liar on earth. And everything she said is unreliable, and everybody's to get even with her. So you're gonna let those people kill my husband to get even with me? They need to get that judge who got her in the courthouse saying it. Not only by my phone is tapped by the police and the FBI, but it's in the courthouse. As I walk by a room, some guy's in there. I had the right to do all these things to her. So I knew what I was up against. You're that scared of a 51-year-old woman in a skirt? You're pathetic. A 51-year-old fat woman in a skirt. You're that pathetic. It's not like I'm Chuck Norris. Oh, it's Melissa's divorce attorney and that some guy named Pete. They're the ones framing Ludick and the Portage County Sheriffs. So for them to say they were down there bad-mouthing me, that means the fake Portage County Sheriffs were there framing Bruce Lewinsky and the sheriffs. They were down in Tuscarawas, and there may have been fake FBI agents. It's a Judge Peters group from Florida that were at Faith Family Church, the ones that were impersonating other people. The Portage County Sheriff's there and the fake FBI agent that tortured me. They have fake badges and fake credentials. You need to pull the courthouse tapes. You need to find out who that judge talked to. You need to find out if Melissa, who was in behind that door as I walked by after I passed that judge. They were in that courthouse that day. FBI, you need to find out. Okay? You need to get rid of that dirty judge. You know, I was talking to Audrey today. We got a whole stack of cash checks from those people that stole from my husband. I don't want book. The banker looked at us and said that was a buttload of money they took from you, Carl. He said they're telling everybody they didn't take it. He said, well, the paperwork says different. I said, that's not even in cash. And I told him how we're going to move. And he just shook his head. He's like, you got to do what you got to do. And I said, they were calling me a gold digger. Carl's like, I owe her money. I said, I bought his glasses. I do this, I do that. And they were complaining because I bought Carl clothes and I bought him shoes and other things to make him feel good about himself. He said, that's what you do for people. I said, exactly. He had regular shoes while they were robbing him blind. It was pathetic. He had all that money and they stole it and left him in rags. Get the idea? They call me a gold digger. They are mad over their ATM being shut down. Like Carl's attorney, Kathy Stoneman. Carl, all you were was an ATM to them. Okay. By the way, I sent copies of the cash checks to the Starr County Sheriff's, Portage County Sheriff's, prosecutor's office up in Portage County so they realize what's going on. And that I was at, yesterday I was at, Dutch Valley Restaurant. People were in there. They said, we wish people would stop making fun of her. They already know that Judge Ludick and the Portage County Sheriff's up there, she's been trying to clear everybody's name. Every time she sees these people trying to frame them, she tells them they already got people down here investigating, trying to get all the people framing them. And people need to stop making fun of her for telling on these people framing them. They already know she's trying to clear everyone. I go to leave and some old people were saying that's the couple that's going to move out of Tuscarawas County because some judge wouldn't protect her husband from his stepchildren. That's sad. See, they sold the login. But August, what is it, 28th, this year, it was a Sunday. I was up in Summit Mall with my brother and Carl. And Carl had to go to the bathroom, and some guy answers the phone. It is documented and verified they used hypnotic drugs when they drugged her and told her to say it before, and she has no memory of anything. Nobody's to say a word. Okay? Other people are saying she did say she had a mental taste in her mouth. They used hypnotic drugs. She has no memory of what those people did before. There are other ones we're talking that there's a tape of where they called Agent John a coward. Okay? And then some lady talking about it downstairs. About how do you think we look to her when we say stuff to her, and they used hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before and she has no memory. Do you realize what we all look like to her? Insane. Okay? Well, some guy walked into Walmart 62. I want the tape of August 7th. Where the investigators said they used hypnotic drugs on her. and they got him tape saying it. And that she has no memory and they drugged her and told her to say it before, and calling Agent John a coward. I went to leave. Somebody yelled out, I got that tape. Oh, they have everything. See those ladies today outside Myers and Alliance. That Deb was so passionate how much she had to have Carl in her life, and we all know she had a real dad. Lived with him. She was grown up. She was a married woman with kids, and that was only her mom's second husband. And her yelling, my daddy, and crying. Did they have it ever? The investigators wondering if they had an affair. And then that passionate kiss in front of everyone. We're wondering if they didn't have some kind of love affair. Find out for me. Because it's important. And they said, you know, we didn't think with them running around and insulting her, they're trying to cancel, are trying to get those drug dealers set free. Because if they find her not credible and they find her a liar, then the case gets thrown out and all those drug dealers walk. They said no one's ever say a word about her. See, that's what the Canton police officer said. Said, any officer gets caught bad-mouthing you, Miss Hall, with that open FBI case and all the people they got and all that information they got on that surveillance with him, any officer gets caught ever saying one thing bad about you, they'll get in a lot of trouble. Because you know what they're going to say? Officer so-and-so said she's unreliable. Nothing's credible what she said. She's a liar. So the drug dealers, they got off of some kind of fraud scheme that's not reliable. Oh, an attorney can get it overturned. Do you know thousands of drug cartel will get put back in to society? The human traffickers will be released. See, that's where they said, why are they insulting Agent John, calling him a coward? They want him found unreliable. They want all those drug dealers released and no one else arrested. See, that was their backup plan in 18. See, you can't insult the informant that called. You can't, because then you opened a case. If you call me a liar, you say I'm not credible. You open a case on lies and not credit. It's fraud. You can't use fraud against somebody. See, every part of the case has to be credible. See, that's where the lady investigators, we never even thought, where the police said that Karen can't lie. We always knew Karen could never lie to us. We have the legal police surveillance. We can go look it back up. She can't lie to us. I wouldn't lie anyways, because then it's like a three-ring circus. It's raised better. But the FBI needs to get down to that Tuscarawas courthouse. And where they keep telling the police to stay out of everything you're handling, sometimes they need to know. They need to know it's a drug cartel running a drug scam on me. And they want to know who was in that courthouse. And who told that judge that? Because they're impersonating Portage County Sheriff's trying to frame a sitting judge. They're impersonating FBI agents. And our informant is very credible, and she can't lie because we have everything underneath police surveillance. And everything she said is the truth. And we got police surveillance to back it. See, you can't insult the integrity of the case. The informant, let's see, the agent over it, because the time one thing is fraud, thousands of serial killers will be let back into society. And they said that Melissa's attorney went after the FBI and all the money in the case. Thought he had to take out John's mom. I mean, if you actually think of it, they were that afraid of me. They went that badass on me. Why? See, gotta think of it. Why? It's not like I'm Chuck Norris. The little extreme there, honey. And just some guy named Pete got the cartel involved. Now the cartel is around me too. Oh God, we all know that one. But no one can insult the credibility of me or Agent John. Because you insult the credibility of anybody in this case. Judge Peters in Florida can be released. 100 men. U.S. Marshals use the case, got 800, then 250, then da-da-da-da-da. And they got thousands off this. All those human traffickers, those serial killers, will be let back into society. Where they said they want them released with this because they got it listed that she's a liar. She's not credible. We're getting even with her. The agent's not credible either. Those, attorney does. You can't arrest people on fraud. It's not credible. That means it was lies. So that police surveillance is fraud. And everything's thrown out. And thousands of serial killers are left back into society. That's how much you can't insult me or Agent John. The whole case has to be credible and up aboard where that Canton officer said any officer will get in so much trouble if they ever insult you. Why? Because then they got a loophole of Officer so-and-so said this. Officer so-and-so did this, and we can get Officer so-and-so to back this. And guess what? And then they have to defend every tape of every drug dealer they got off of it. And every tip can be wiped out of all those people they got. That's how not funny it is. But September 10th, 25, Tuscarora's courthouse. You need to find out who told that judge. Melissa's attorney should be in there. Whoever is behind it, because that guy was behind the door. I had the right to find out who I was up against. You were divorcing. She was divorcing my son. She wasn't divorcing me. You had to go Nazi on his mother? See what I mean? Melissa's divorce attorney and some guy named Pete to make sure that Dave and Melissa got everything. Then got the cartel involved and this whole thing went poof. Biggest scam in the world. But thousands went to jail. Hundreds were saved. You don't want them back in society. I'm going to upload this.